What's going on, Terrill TC here again. Pondering again in this area with the time that I have here, Terrill teaching on psychology. Uh, I had the teaching pertaining to the teaching of last week when I was teaching on psychology, and I was bringing forth the description of when I went I graduated kindergarten, then it was the graduating uh, elementary school, then it was a graduating junior high school, then it was a graduating high school, and then it was the graduating of the college. Uh, and I went on in the teaching about, and so here in 2019, to say on the dealing of the right SUM and the wrong SUM, where the wrong SUM being that to say here in 2019, there is where coming from kindergarten to the now brought along was human spirit had presented to it the Garden Eden instead of the Creator presented to the human spirit the Garden Eden. And the difference that's to be acknowledged is Creator, human spirit. And so here in 2019, where we have the SUM of this, right? Kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, and college. And so we have the SUM. And then to say, using again the idea of the equation of the 5, 8 candle, and then we got to get the multiplication symbol that's needed so that we can get the SUM from this 5, 9 here. Again, in the equation with this, the 5, 8 candle mathematical symbol, and then the 5, 9 candle, and then that's going to give us the SUM to say. And so now, and then there's the topic of having the right SUM and then the wrong SUM. And so, again, to say the wrong SUM being because we didn't bring, to say, human spirit was presented to Garden Eden, and because that's not what was brought along the way. So when that's considered as the wrong SUM. I have these words to go along with this. It's the words of Terrill nucleared his family tie with Jesus Christ above commitments to neighbors, extended kin, civic duty, and religion. All right. So at the sounding of those words, and then just using the area of graduation from kindergarten, graduation from elementary school, graduation from junior high, graduation from high school, and then graduation from college, and defining the SUM that it's happening. So because to say Terrill nucleared his family tie with Jesus Christ above commitments to neighbors, extended kin, civic duty, and religion, as if to say, and so that's why he had so much, to say, time on his hand where he was able to produce such a turnout. In the teaching last week, I was teaching on or sharing pertaining to when we have the opportunity to keep the Creator in the picture. And to say it brings us back to the formal description of the human spirit was presented the Garden Eden, pertaining to when we vocalize or we present the Creator presented the Garden Eden, and the difference, knowing the difference of the two. That's highlighting Creator, the good Lord. Of human spirit, that's highlighting human spirit, and the differ of the two there, Creator, human spirit. And so where we're saying the reason for the season, and not a bad way, not a bad time to use that awesome slogan to say, but the reason for the season is because to say what was brought along was the Creator presented to the human spirit the Garden Eden. What wasn't brought along was human spirit had the Creator, or have the Garden of Eden presented to it by way of the garden, by way of the Creator. It reminds me so of when, to say the good Lord in the passage, again, to say teaching on psychology and then have the opportunity to keep the good Lord in the picture, where the good Lord says, keep the Creator before the gifts. And it's not so much of a keeping the gifts before the Creator. I think of that passage in the Bible and I ponder on when the gifts was first presented, and then the human spirit pertaining to before it's taught anything by way of the Creator for the state of mind that it's in. The uses of that 5-8 candle and that 5-9 candle in that state of mind, pertaining to when the Creator comes into the picture, and it's Him helping that we use the right mathematical symbol pertaining to the equation of the 5-8 candle and the 5-9 candle, so we can get that SUM. Other area or other topic, but I find this in the same area here, for that SUM to be in reference to our prophetic for needs and desires. That SUM. Some needs, some desires. Not perverting that word SUM though, or that word, right, that SUM. I think about some, and there's SME, right? And that's, again, in another area, another topic, the same area. And just captivating on not perverting the equation. Because I really believe, and I'm able to see that there is that opportunity to pervert the equation. That's nothing more but having the wrong sum and being able to acknowledge the difference of if we had the right SUM. To say that we didn't sit down and pertained ourselves to this equation, and what we have on the other side of working it out is the wrong SUM. And then to say going forward from there, being able to acknowledge that we have the wrong SUM pertaining to us having the right SUM. So not perverting that equation. So now the bringing, to say to the now again, it was because it was the bringing of the Creator presented to the human spirit. And captivating on that difference of what that is. The human spirit was presented the Garden of Eden to it. All right? And so again, the words, Terrill nucleared his family tie with Jesus Christ above commitments to neighbors, extended kin, civic duty, and religion. The difference that definitely panned out. Again, we're dealing on the topic of psychology. I'm teaching on a subject of psychology, and then there's opportunity of keeping the good Lord in the picture. And again, the difference that make, to say when we do that, keep the good Lord in the picture, and then when we bring along with that, when we bring that with us from kindergarten to say to our now, where it may be we then graduated our college, along the way, the bringing of that, and from kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, and then into that college rhythm. And we're bringing with us, and then using this for example to say, the Creator presented to the human spirit. That could be that awesome day when we first come from the womb and our loved ones is there ready to retrieve us. And then we go on and we're nurtured and brought up, and the rest is pretty much history, to say us knowing of that experience for self. Self-absorbed is the word that I'm working with here, that this is coming from, pertaining to Terrill nucleared his family tied with self-Christ, Jesus Christ above commitments to neighbors, extended kin, civic duty, and religion. That's in the area of having the wrong SUM and having the right SUM, all right? And so, again, conclusion, the difference that definitely that made, bringing that along. Instead of human spirit was presented the Garden of Eden to it. That's all the difference to say. All right, knowing the difference here, H-E-R-E, here, H-E-A-R. All right, Terrill TC. Till next time, presidential 2020 elections, where we're going to vote. Not only that, but I'm running for president of the United States of America. All right, till next time, go.